Salam sejahtera para penonton. Terima kasih kerana masih bersama kami di ECON Roundtable musim ketiga. Hari ini kita akan berbincang mengenai industri kreatif. Adakah kita sudah bersedia untuk mengalami pembaharuan ataupun kita masih ditakut lama? Jadi untuk membincang topik ini, kita ada dua tetamu undangan. Di studio bersama saya adalah Ku Muhammad Haris Ku Sulong, Ahli Perbadanan Finas dan penerbit filem, dan Andrew Bong. Beliau adalah seorang komposer dan penerbit muzik. Beliau kini berada di Nagoya, Jepun. Kita bawa beliau khas melalui Zoom. Selamat datang ke studio, Andrew. Selamat datang, Ku.
Hello.
So, terima kasih kerana sudi bersama kita. Ini kita hari ini, today, we're going to discuss a very, very interesting topic, controversial topic, isu berkaitan dengan industri kreatif. Now, Ku, can I just begin with you first? Sementara Andrew bersiap sedia minum kopi kat Jepun sekarang. Pukul berapa, Andrew? What's the time now?
1 hour ahead.
Okay.
Not far.
All right. So, Ku,
Yes.
you have long involved in the industry, right? What is it that you can say about our industry? Tadi saya mulakan, it's a controversial industry. How do you see it?
Okay, I've been 38 years.
38 years in the industry.
From young. I don't know anything else but the industry. But
Okay.
I must say, in terms of the industry itself,
Right.
kita dah evolve.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that is happening that kalau zaman saya start dulu,
Alright.
memang payahlah, right?
Zaman tu bila? 38 mean berapa?
82.
80-an
82, 80-an. Saya lepas sekolah terus masuk industri filem.
Kenapa industri filem?
By chance, pasal saya masuk advertising agency.
Oh, okay.
Lepas tu kebetulan advertising agency tu buat iklan.
Okay.
Jadi saya kenal masa tu first director yang saya kenal, Osman Hafsyam.
Okay.
Dan bos saya ketika itu adalah arwah Datuk Mustafa Makruf. So
You're with the best.
so bila dah kenal tu, suka, minat, so I went on and then I helped produce 2+1, PMI dengan Hafsyam.
Okay.
Then I went abroad.
Okay.
I actually went to a proper film school in Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
So I came back and then my life changed into doing commercial.
Commercial.
Commercials then were big money. So
Alright.
it's whether you want to sell your soul lah, orang kata
Okay.
kan. Money versus the creativity.
Alright.
So I get the best of both. But
Okay.
coming back to your question, I think the industry has its challenges.
Okay.
Kita memang tak perfect lagi lah. Okay. So kalau kita kata road to Oscar tu, banyak yang cakap it's a vision. It's a vision. Some laugh about it. But
Why do people laugh about it?
because kita masih ditakut yang apa nak cakap pasal Oscar, kita tak lepas the basic fundamentals, kata
Is
orang.
it only about the film industry or
In general.
In general,
okay.
Okay.
Because to be fair, afterward we
Andrew?
talked to Andrew. Like Finas is film.
Okay.
Clear.
Purely, yeah.
Kalau orang nak kata music, apa perbadanan dia? Tak ada.
Okay.
So those are the
Okay,
kind of
alright.
improvements that you need to govern.
Alright.
Finas pun as we evolve, I think sekarang ni there's a lot more initiative on really concentrating on development.
Okay.
Pasal yalah kita sebut road to Oscar, tapi
Okay.
apa yang kita buat?
Okay.
So
Alright.
that's the question.
Okay, that's the challenge. I mean, the way kita baru mula ni. Okay, Andrew. How do you see, Andrew, our industry? You are in music. You are a composer. You are a producer. How do you see the industry?
Well, it's controversial, number one. Kan?
Okay.
But again, like what Harris pointed out, when he said like road to Oscar, some people laugh about it. Some people have their own opinion. Some people was like, oh, you'll never make it. That's one ideology. Second is like, this is opportunity for some people to take money and run,
Yeah.
Right.
But for me, I want to address this constructively because I met many producers. I'm fortunate to also experience what you call an Oscar roadshow, with Haji Burhan, like with his Upin Ipin. There's many things I see it's not about the glamour. It's not about the award that we want. To be honest, the road to Oscar is a process. If psychologically we can address that, basically, there's a lot of work to be done.
Right.
Broad terms, and there are challenges, and I think it's possible. It's not for the Oscar, but in terms of making good films.
Right.
And I think for FINAS they need I don't know them personally. I mean, I know the people, but in terms of how FINAS operate, things always change.
All right.
So I can't judge. but in terms of media, like how they portray themselves, they need a keyword, they need a campaign. For me, I do think we need people like us proactively, like Harry's me, to give feedback to FINAS. Basically they're still entity, and if you're a filmmaker, if you rely too much on them, and for this A to B to C, I think it's not to say the wrong approach, but it's something that's not advisable.
Okay, Andrew, we'll go into the music part later. Alright, cool. Bila kita sebut, kalau okay lah, Oscar tu kata agak jauh. What about it within ASEAN?
Okay. The thing is, FINAS ni was set up earlier than Singapore MDA atau FDCP or whatever, right? It's just that every other country that set up humiliates and got better, and we were still behind. Yeah, that's the honest truth.
Alright.
Right? Like we came up with incentive like FIMI.
Yes.
Right? Which is filming incentive, right? And it worked for us. Suddenly other countries come up with it, and they did better.
Alright.
Right? The reason being is the red tapes. Right?
The bureaucracy, the red tapes.
And all that.
Alright.
Like Thailand realised that nak masuk Malaysia ni a bit susah because of the red tapes.
Right.
Therefore, they simplified their processes.
Okay.
So the foreigners likes to go there.
To Thailand. Right.
Thailand. Okay. Sama juga macam kita, because there are process government.
Yeah.
Jadi sesuatu yang kita buat tu kena ambil kira sensitivity dan sebagainya.
Banyak,
Okay. Kita tahu filem ni, kalau kita road to Oscar, Upin Ipin dan katakanlah Redor pergi ke Oscar, kita buat campaign, kita tak boleh throw party under duit FINAS.
Okay.
Because there's alcohol in it.
Right.
But
Betul.
you know that the industry internationally is socializing.
Right.
You go to markets, is socializing.
Okay.
Right?
Alright.
Those are the kind of things that FINAS can support.
Alright.
So filmmaker have to support sendiri, and it's not cheap.
Yeah.
Things like that lah.
Okay, so kita telah pun mendengar sedikit sebanyak imbasan cabaran yang dihadapi oleh industri ataupun mereka yang terlibat dalam industri kreatif ini. Kita sampai ke penghujung slot yang pertama. Kita akan sambung di slot yang seterusnya. Okey, kita kembali bersama Ku Muhammad Haris Ku Sulong dari FINAS dan juga Andrew Bong walaupun jauh di Nagoya. Beliau sudah bersedia. Okey, Andrew, I understand that you have done a lot of work, with the, animation. I did a little bit of homework. So can you just briefly share with us the work that you are doing right now, and it's related to Sarawak? I'm so happy. Yes, Andrew.
Well, I'm a lucky man, to get roped into these kind of project, and the narrative is actually when TVS, they start to pitch it, each year, they learn a lot. They're very progressive,
Good.
So they give out fund, so they open a floodgate of people, not only from Sarawak, people outside of Sarawak coming in, they want funding for their film and this and that. Like I even get some animation company approached me, big one, because I'm Sarawakian, right? So they say, hey, can we get investment? Like what they mean by investment is not like going through the pitch it, but direct investment.
All right.
So you don't go to FINAS, you don't go to MDEC. Now there's TVS. So they always go for different places. I mean, they're potential partners, of course, but how I want to address it, constructively is you need to have a proof of work. Things you have done. And then you need to have, instill investor confidence. You know, you don't want to just take the money and run. It's not what you call like go in and get a few million to make things happen. So that's why I picked this this rent-up animation, which was actually done, but they don't have a music score. And the producer, he said he doesn't have, he needs more funding for marketing, for, you know, different things, right? And he basically, you know, MDAC support this program, and then they create this animation, right? And I do see this producer, his name is Ai Ibrahim. He's kind of known in the animation industry as a 2D artist. And, you know, Malaysia, mostly animations focus on 3D. So I thought this is a good opportunity for me to tap into my network, my relationship to help him, because he's a very genuine person. He's very open. You know, it's not about his IP. It's about the goal. You know, he wants to make it into episodic series like, you know, Avatar, all these kind of. He gave me different reference. So what happened is, you know, I've known, like, you know, even before TVS was formed, you know, Amirin from SMG, you know, different agencies in Sarawak. So basically, you know, IE already reached out to them, like SDAC, Sarawak Digital Economy, you know. Its counterpart of MDAC is a bit different, because, you know, they want to support the local economy, and, you know, IE is West Malaysian. So basically, my job is also, you know, if as a producer, is to tie in the narrative that, you know, it will not only benefit IE in one way. So I come in as a Sarawakian, you know, and the idea is I don't have a music score. So maybe if let's say they want investment, you know, maybe SDAC will not go full on with IE because it's very risky as well. So that around the same time we have other projects going on done by small indie local studio. That's something I want to push forward and support as well. You know, small filmmakers, small and these people, they don't really make a living off, you know, just selling film and you know on film revenue. They do work for, you know, teaching, you know, animation, or they do design, corporate jobs, you know. So I think it's a good start because they have other sources of revenue also. So it's not risky to work with this company, you know, per se. So what happened is the proposal is I will pick up this 3 animation and support them, you know, incubate them. You know, we have a partnership with SDAC, Sarawak Digital Economy. So what happened is, so let's say for IE's film, he doesn't have a marketing budget, and, you know, even if we want to put in marketing budget, it's going to be very costly. So the idea is, okay, I'll write the score for his film, you know, and my company, we subsidize, you know, sometimes it's very expensive to do a lot of things. You have composing, mixing, and whatever. So what IE, you know, needs to pay, I told him, you know, even I'm going to get you a Budapest orchestra for this. So I think I don't want to say coin the word like we're going to be the first time doing Budapest orchestra for the first Sarawak animation. I think this kind of narrative in the media is old, stagnant, because what I want to do is create this kind of marketing through music. So what happened is I want to get a sape player from Sarawak, you know, violinist from Sarawak, Nisa Adina. So all these local people, and my friend who plays flute, you know,
Okay, Andrew. I would love to hear that, Andrew, because I think there is another thing that I would like, because I'd like to pick up your very interesting discussion here. Cool. We've heard about, you know, the opportunities and everything. But what about in terms of the film? You know, because we've heard so much, you know, opportunities in the, what do you call, the film, in the music industry, and especially in Sarawak. I'm so excited, you know. I feel that, what about in terms of in Malaysia?
In Malaysia, at the moment, there's a lot of the young ones that goes out to labs, to Berlinale Lab, Locarno Lab, where they meet other filmmakers, indie filmmakers, young filmmakers, and they strike co-production agreements, right? But sadly, at the moment, FINAS is working towards having a co-production grant, right? But as you know, we just launched My Lab. My Lab is what we call an incubation film development incubation program, where we have mentors from overseas, and normally it's called Script Lab internationally. Tapi di Malaysia we call it Film Development Lab. The reason being, you have to come a team of 3. That means director, producer, writer. So script tu akan di-develop oleh script mentors. The producers will learn from what we call group leaders and all that are producers based. And then, of course, the director will have suitable mentors. So di Malaysia ni, di FINAS, kita dah buat program ni, di mana the finale or the end game of this is for them to pitch openly at Busan.
Okay.
So immediately you get the international
I see the exposure. Right.
Right? And the team of from finance is going to Cannes, Marche, and we will promote my lab, where we hope that European on the move and people that comes to Busan. Marche and know about my lab will fly into Busan.
All right.
And we'll hear this pitch.
All right.
So we hope for co-production agreement
So the word,
interest.
The word now is co-production, the way that we heard. You can't just be doing solo and that is it why?
If you notice, Singapore managed to put their film internationally.
Okay.
Especially in Cannes.
Okay.
When they have a co-producer from France.
I see.
It's a fast way to go.
All right,
in,
I see.
Right?
Okay, all right.
So that's the truth.
All right.
If you try going, your work must be superb to be able to reach that.
Right.
UA managed to put kaki bakar in Directors Fortnight because the late Pierre Ricen tour Southeast Asia, kenal UA,
you
tengok
need to have
minat. You need somebody to see, and that person has got the weight to introduce you to festivals.
Right. So
then
things,
you open the door.
So you need to collaborate. You need to have international friends.
Yes, it's a fast way. If not, we are still unknown.
Okay. All right.
Let's be real about it.
Okay.
You go to Oscar, how many films have you all sent? Because we met 50 of the juries, right?
All right.
How many film has Malaysian sent? Oh, ours is the 4th. That's why we don't know you.
Okay.
So when you don't know, you have to shout more. When you shout more, it's more money.
Definitely. Kita selepas ini, kita masuk ke slot yang seterusnya. Kita akan membincangkan hala tuju.
Okay.
Where are we going, and how we can improve our creative industry. Kita kembali selepas ini. Okey, kita kembali lagi untuk membincangkan topik yang begitu hangat pada hari ini, iaitu berkaitan dengan industri kreatif. Saya tertarik dengan apa yang Andrew sebut tadi tentang animation. Dia sebut tentang rentak, tapi dia buat music score. Now, dalam industri kita ni, bagaimana dengan animation ini? Is there a room for us? Is there opportunities? Or lebih banyak just controlled by one or two in the big players?
No, I think animation is a big market. Kalau kita tengok daripada apa yang selalu berlaku di MIPCOM, di mana Malaysia pergi, biasanya Finas dan MDEC pergi, sales yang banyak dibuat adalah daripada animation sector.
Okay. Kenapa benda tu?
Animation is accepted. You bayangkanlah, katakanlah cerita baik Upin Ipin ke atau Bobo Boy ke, untuk dubbing characters is easier for multiple language. Kalau nak dubbing live action, kena ada, katakanlah dia ni budak kecil, muka dia macam ni, suara tone dia. To professionally dub for a live action, redub, you're talking about at least 40,000-50,000 US to get the right character suited the faces and all that. Whereas animation, you can dah plan which country you want to sell and all that.
I see.
You dah boleh buat.
Right. So that's where the money.
Where the money and the market seems to be accepting that.
All right.
Yeah.
So in Malaysia, how do you see our animation?
We are doing very well. I mean, you got the likes of Upin Ipin.
Right.
You got Bobo Boy. You got Agent Ali. Then there are other smaller ones that is quietly doing series for Disney dan sebagainya, which is not feature. And feature sales, kalau you tengok all this animation, semua pecah box office because one kid want to see, 5 have got to go and buy tickets. Let's face it. And whereas live action, mungkin a couple go, jaranglah satu family. So macam Agent Ali, katakanlah anak saya nak tengok, saya kena bawa mak ke adik ke apa semua tengok. So automatically your sales
so
of
the market
tickets
is there.
Is there.
Okay, right. Yeah, okay. So what about you, Andrew? What do you think? How do you see our industry in Sarawak? Let's focus in Sarawak. What is it that we can do, Andrew?
I'll make it quick. So there's the short-term and long-term one. And as a partner, if working with TVS moving forward, the suggestion that I want to tackle is really education. Since we have a TV station now, so I see what are the resources that we have now, and we want to use it, to full potential. So basically tie into education, to school education sector. And I'm not sure about the familiar with the policy, but definitely, FINAS and TVS can look into it. Basically, having like a school field trip to television, station
Right.
to let the kids see how it's done. Maybe have a, movie club in school, where they sit down and read scripts, like acting, because there's a shortage of labor in terms of Sarawak, good actors.
Okay.
That's the problem we face also. Like we want this this field to be a servicing company as well. You work for TV station, and there's a big territory to explore. So that's a short-term goal,
Right.
like to brush up all these young, not to say young kids or groom them, but this is a viable suggestion. And that in terms of long term, you think about Indonesia co-production, they're moving the capital, it's just next to Sarawak. So there's a lot of things in terms of ad placement and how things should be run. Like I mentioned in Japan, right? I was watching this show. Every time it's almost the climax, they cut and then they go to ad and then advertisement and then come back 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then advertisement again. So you need to figure out a way to that's more about TV. And then in the film sector, again, it goes back to the younger generation, maybe can get local TV stars, Sarawakians, to go to school to talk about their jobs, It is a simple thing. Don't cost money, don't cost $1 million, Just time and effort, resources.
So the long term, what about the long term? Was that the short term?
Yeah, the long term, really, you want to project the like your TV station, like the stuff you put out, what are the responses, and now you have YouTube channel. So we need to collect more data, and then we need to address what are the things we can work on. And in terms of going to long term, I think maybe Haris can take on it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Andrew. That's really interesting. I like the part going to school. I think that would be more interesting. Awareness campaigns and things like that. Exposing our young children to the industry itself. They're so used to other industries, but I think film industry or the creative industry is still lacking, right? Thank you, Andrew. Thank you very much.
Yeah, quick interjection actually, because I'm in Japan. I get so many ideas how TV station, can operate. Like I watch a drama, like a lot of amazing kids actors. And the stories are tailored to kids, acting in a tele movie. It's crazy,
Okay.
So something to look into.
Okay, thank you very much, Andrew. Now, cool. The way forward. I know you're very critical about some of the issues. You have voiced out a lot of this, but probably you can share with us the way forward for the creative industry.
Honestly, the way forward for us, especially now, Finas with Prof CEO, we're looking at the total ecosystem.
Okay.
We cannot just how shall I say, do this and all that.
Okay.
I mean, whatever Andrew said is true.
Okay.
We have got this thing called Kofi, where we go out and do trainings and upscaling in other states.
Okay.
Right, where we get community to engage.
Okay.
The idea of schools, going to schools,
All right.
that means maybe once a month, you screen films and all that.
Okay.
We need the love of the arts
Okay.
by the students,
Okay.
let it be music or this. Having said that, while I say the ecosystem, as you know, we have this thing called MyCap.
Okay.
MyCap is basically is what we want every individual in the creative industry to be registered with Finas under MyCap, so that you have a number. It's almost like you are licensed by Finas. What it does for you is you will then have a MyCap portal like IMDb, where you can update your status and all that, even to a point where we start charging minimum. You can have a password that you can update. Haris Sulong free from this date to this date.
Okay.
So that people who wants to know whether I'm busy or not just have to go to the portal, right? And the association will be parked under MyCap.
Okay.
So that if they want to talk about red card and all that, it's under Finas punya umbrella.
Okay.
Then it was easier, and Finas can then mediate between the stations and us.
Okay.
Right? And the crew and everybody.
Right.
So much so that the ecosystem is being built complete.
All right. So it's a whole ecosystem.
Yeah. So that SPP sekarang is online.
Okay.
Then you got production agreement where we cover both sides.
Okay.
Kalau katakanlah producer kata kru ni tak bagus, dia lari dengan duit ke apa, then dia akan di blacklist for 6 months, for instance, tak boleh buat kerja.
So, alright.
Vice versa. Kalau kru kata tak bayar lambat ke atau whatever lah, we are allowed to penalize.
Alright.
Therefore, it makes a better system.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think we have a lot of things more to discuss, but we have come to the end of our slot right now. So we have discussed the industry, the challenges ataupun cabaran-cabaran, dan juga kita haluan ke hadapan. Jadi kita sudah sampai di penghujung episod hari ini. Terima kasih kepada kedua-dua tamu undangan kita yang sudi datang ke studio kami di WTC KL. Jadi kita jumpa lagi pada minggu hadapan.